everyone. My name is Amber, and I am the Assistant Director for the Recreation Department here at Duquesne University. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about ways that we can use our desk chair to open up muscles, to release tension in our bodies when we might have a really busy day and we're not able to get out of our seat very often and we're stuck in our office, maybe on a lot of Zoom calls. And I'd also like to talk about some exercises that we can do to negate the loss of curvature in our upper spine, especially when we're looking at our devices, driving cars, or if we're sitting at the computer. From the side, our neck should make the letter C, but as we start to look forward at things and look down, that turns into a straight line. And as that happens, it can give us problems in our fingertips and give us pain in the shoulders, pain in the neck. So it's so important that we do stretches and exercises to try to negate that. So we'll start with some opening exercises with our breath. Maybe we're feeling a little bit stressed out. We can inhale, reach up, and exhale, just release. Going through this motion helps our shoulders to stay flexible, but it also helps us to relax. So that's a nice thing to do if we just need to take a moment to breathe and focus. Then we're going to hold it at the top, and we're going to tilt to the right. Bring it back up to center and tilt to the left. It's so important that we move our spine laterally. This is an exercise that we don't do very often with our spine, but if we want to keep our spine fluid and in good working condition, tilting to the side is a great exercise. Back up to center and release. Go ahead and give yourself a couple shoulder rolls. These are all things that we can do from our desk without looking too silly. You don't necessarily have to close the blinds when you're doing these exercises. Go ahead and relax. Now we're going to do a quick assessment to see how our shoulder flexibility really holds up. So what we'll do is we're going to raise the left arm, bring it behind our back so that we're touching our back down the spine, if you can. If you can't, that's all right. Then we're going to bring the right arm up and behind it and see if your fingertips don't touch. And from here, we'll hold that. If your fingertips don't touch, that's completely okay. As you build shoulder flexibility, you might find that you get better and better or closer and closer. Go ahead and release. Now it's important that we do it on both sides. So now we'll raise the right arm. Bring our hand behind our back. Bring the left arm up and around and see if you can't touch the fingers on this side. Sometimes we find that one side is a lot more flexible than the other. So it's important to make sure that we're being balanced and even. Go ahead and release. Now we're going to really work on those neck muscles so that we don't have those negative effects of that forward lean or that chin tilt. When we're sitting normally, we want to make sure that our posture, our ear, and our shoulder are in alignment. So that might mean to tuck our chin back. So the first exercise are called chin tucks. Just going to tuck our chin back, pretending like you're trying to give yourself a double chin. Just tuck back and relax. Tuck back and relax. So you can do several of those to help. Then the other one that I like a lot is to bring the fingertips up to the ears, open the elbows wide and back as we inhale. So that stretches across the front of the shoulders, front of the chest, and then bring the elbows together. So you're going to inhale, open, exhale, elbows together. Now we're going to add the chin and the neck. So as we inhale, we want to look up. Now, this is where your hands can come in handy. You can place your hands at the base of your skull and look all the way up if you need a little bit of support. Then as you exhale, you're bringing it back in. And you can support your head the whole time if you like, if you don't feel comfortable doing this. You're going to inhale, open, look all the way up. Exhale, bring it closed. Inhale, open, look all the way up. Exhale, bring it together. Great job. Keep it up. Inhale, look up. Exhale, and on the last one, we're going to open, look up, and keep your chin facing the ceiling. And just hold this here, open the shoulders, hold it here for a few breaths, then gently release. And bring the arms down. So that exercise, if done every day, can really help to get you the spinal curvature back in your upper spine. But we want to make sure that we're focusing on the sides of our neck too, because we hold tension in our shoulders and in our neck. So if we don't keep those muscles loose, then we'll become tenser and tenser. So let's bring the right ear to the right shoulder We're going to drop the left shoulder down. Hold it here for a moment. And then bring it up. And let's do the same thing on the other side. Left ear to left shoulder, drop the right shoulder down. Then we're holding all of these for about 10 seconds. Bring it back up. And now we're going to sit up as tall as we can, earlobes over the shoulders. Look over the right shoulder as far as you can without turning your shoulders. So we tend to want to turn our whole body when we look behind us, but keep your shoulders square to the front. Look as far back and see how far back you can look. And then bring it back to center, and let's try it on the other side. Look back over the shoulder. Do you feel better on one side than the other? We want to assess our lateral symmetry. So we want to make sure that we're not tighter on one side than the other. Oftentimes we're tighter on our dominant side. So if I write with my right hand is going to be stronger. So will my right shoulder. So you have more tension or strength in the right side of the body. The left side of the body becomes more flexible. All right, now we're doing a spinal twist. So we're working our way down the spine. So we did the lateral motions. We were up here, went tilted to the right, tilted to the left. Now we want to get a spinal twist motion. We don't do that very often either. So we're going to bring the left hand outside of the right thigh. And now we're just going to place our hand on the back of our chair and look behind us. So now we're looking as far back as we can, and we're twisting through the middle portion of the spine. Making sure that our legs don't turn out to the side. So we're actually using our hand as pressure against our thigh to push our leg in this direction. Bring it back to center, and let's do the same thing on the other side. So now my right hand comes to the outside of my left leg, left arm wraps around behind the chair. I twist in my spine and look behind me, keeping my hips facing forward. And bring it back to center. Hopefully you feel a little bit more open through the center of your spine. Now we're going to move down into our hips and our glutes. When we sit a lot, those muscles can atrophy, or we get tight in the front of our hips and our glutes become a lot looser. So it's important to make sure that we're stretching and paying attention to how each side feels. So for this one, we move out to the edge of our chair. We're going to cross an ankle over the thigh, one hand on the knee, one hand on the ankle. Sit up as tall as you can, pull your shoulders back, tuck your chin in, and then hinge forward from the hip. So we're just leaning forward over our shin. Hold it here for some breaths. Take note where you feel the tension, may be releasing. Keeping our spine nice and tall, trying to breathe. And then bringing it down. And then we'll do the other side. So left ankle comes up. You might find that maybe this knee doesn't want to drop down as far, or maybe you feel more flexible on this side. It's important to assess. So we have a hand on the ankle, a hand on the knee. Sit up as tall as you can, and then extend forward from the hips, feeling happening in the back of the hip. Try to breathe, stick with it. All of these can be done in the workday at your desk without looking too silly. We're holding them from 10 to 30 seconds, and you can go through this as many rounds as you like, as long as you don't feel pain. Let's go ahead and place our feet on the floor. And now we're going to sit at the very, very tip of our chair. If you feel comfortable, if you don't feel comfortable, that's okay. You can sit back a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to extend our right leg out right in front of us, and then pulling my toe towards my body. Hand comes to the thigh out. Again, I'm sitting up nice and tall, hinging forward from the hips, pulling my shoulders back. And you should feel this stretch in the hamstring, the back of the thigh. You don't have to have your hands on your lap. Let's say you're at the desk, you can have your hands on your desk and look like you're not doing anything special. Now, if you ever get shin splints or you feel that pain in the front of the shin, you can take this stretch in another direction. So while we're keeping our legs straight, we're just pointing our toe down flat against the floor and keeping that forward lean. Now you might feel a little bit of a stretch up in the front of the shin. If you do, that means it's pretty tight. So this is a great stretch for you. If you don't really feel much of anything, chances are that part of your body, your tibialis anterior, is not tight at all. Let's switch sides. So now we're going to extend the left leg. Remember, toe up for the first one. That helps stretch the calf muscle. Hand on the thigh, hand on your desk, wherever you are. Sit up as tall as you can. This is important so that we're not losing that curvature of the upper spine. Tuck the chin in, shoulders back, bring it forward. You might not need to go that far. As you notice, my hamstrings are tight, so I didn't move very far. Some of you may be able to bring your chest down towards your thighs. Other people might find just sitting upright is a stretch. We're not trying to look like any specific pose here. We're just moving until we feel a light pull, and that's the right pose for us. Just like in yoga, there's no wrong way to do a pose, as long as you're not in pain. Again, let's try turning our foot down flat against the floor. Hold it here for a few breaths. Well done. Bring your feet back together. Now we're going to focus on our hip flexors. Hip flexors go from the base of your abdominals down through the top of your leg, and you feel them right on that hip bone that sticks out in the front. So from here, when we want to stretch this one, we first want to turn sideways in our chair, and then we're going to plant our right foot, and the left foot's going to extend backwards. Now you can have a soft bend in the knee, or you can go straight. Completely up to you, but we're dropping our left hip down towards the floor so that you feel that stretch all through the front of this hip. So this leg is just stabilizing you. If you want to add something to it, you can add a twist and turn back towards the chair, holding onto the chair. But all the while, we're dropping our hip down towards the floor. This gets the hip flexor. And then gently get yourself out of that position. Bring it back to center. We're just going to do a very quick reset with our spine. So we're going to exhale, lean forward. Inhale, back roll up, one vertebrae at a time. And then we'll turn to the other side. So now we're trying to open up the right hip flexor. So we're going to extend our leg back. That was my timer, so I don't go over. So we're going to extend the leg back, dropping the hip, bringing our body up nice and straight and tall, dropping the hip down towards the floor, opening up through the abdominals, opening up through, and again, you can have a soft bend if that works for you, as long as you feel that opening. And then we turn in our chair, add the twist, take a deep breath, inhale, exhale. And then gently release from that pose. We're going to turn forward in our chair again. And now we're going to inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, let's bend forward out over our thighs. Let our arms hang down, let your head hang down. Relax between the shoulder blades. And then we'll back roll up one vertebrae at a time. Your head is the last thing to raise. Roll the shoulders back and down. And there's a nice stretch that you can do in about 15 minutes at your desk. You can do this throughout the day in little bursts, or you can do it at the top of the hour, or you can do your favorite stretches at any time that you like. As long as you don't feel pain, you can keep on going. Thanks for joining me today. Have a good one.